Good morning, dear students. We have started the lesson number 4, that is rivers. In that, we have already studied in 4.1 how we can use the water of river, how it is useful for the human beings also and animals also. In that, we have studied river pollution, how can we reduce the river pollution. Okay, now next is India's rivers. Let us learn or take the more information about the India's rivers. Let us see on the basis of water flow and on the basis of where that river is originated. There are two different things. There are two different types. Okay, let us see first one. On the basis of flow of water of that river, there are two types. One is perennial rivers and next one is non-perennial rivers. Now let us see, rivers that flow throughout the year are called perennial rivers. Means that river is flowing throughout the year, not for seasonal, not for in rainy season only, not for in winter season only or summer season there is no water. That river flow whole year. That is the perennial river. An example is Ganga, Brahmaputra. Okay, so it is very simple thing. What is meant by perennial rivers? That rivers which flow throughout the year means whole year that flow. And second type I have told you, non-perennial rivers. And the students, you have to remember example also. Okay, let us see non-perennial rivers. Rivers which do not have a constant flow of water throughout the year, or we can say it is seasonal. Some rivers which flow in the rainy season only. There are no water in the summer season. That is called the non-perennial rivers. And example is Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna. Okay, you have to remember example also. So, on the basis of water flow, there are two types, perennial rivers and non-perennial. The next thing, where that rivers originated, on that basis also there are two types, or we have to call some name. Let us see Himalayan rivers. So, that rivers are originated in the Himalayan and the Karakoram mountain ranges in the northern India is called the Himalayan rivers. And the examples are Indus, Ganga, Brahmaputra. So it's from the name you can remember, it's originated in Himalayan and Karakoram mountain ranges. That's why it's called the Himalayan rivers. And the next is the rivers are originated in the Vindhya and the Satpura mountain ranges and the Chota Nagpur plateau in central India or the Sahyadri hills. Have you listened about the Sahyadri? That Sahyadri hills is Western Ghats in Western India, and that is called peninsular rivers. Don't confuse in perennial and peninsular. Okay, and the rivers are Godavari, Mahanadi, Krishna, Narmada and Tapi. So there are two different things. That water flow throughout the year or seasonal, there are two types, perennial rivers and non-perennial. And on the basis of that originated, there are also two types. Or we have give the name like that Himalayan, that human being give the name. Himalayan rivers and peninsular rivers. Okay, so there are some rivers. I have give you name. Let us see about that. Let us see about the Himalayan rivers. First one, Indus. Now it is the one of the longest rivers in the world. So in 4.1 I have told you about the tributaries and distributaries. You have to pronounce like that, tributaries and distributaries, not tributaries. It is tributaries. Okay. So tributaries means the smaller streams, means smaller rivers are come together and join in the main river. Okay, it is the tributaries, and opposite of that, the main river is divided into smaller parts. It is distributaries. In that name only, meaning is there, distribute. If we are distributing something, that is the we are making the some parts like that. Okay. So let us see about the Indus. Indus is the one of the longest river in the world. So Indus tributaries means 5 major tributaries meet the Indus in the state of Punjab. That's why that state given the name. So PUNG, punch means 5 and ab means water. So there are 5 rivers joined to the main river in the Indus. That's why that state given the name. Okay. Then which is that 5 rivers? There are Chenab, Jhelum, Ravi, Beas and Satluj. Okay. Now next, Ganga. Ganga, we have already listened. You have already listened that name, Ganga. It is also longest river. So where it's originated? It is the Himalayan river. So it's originated otherwise Himalayan and the Karakoram mountain. So it meets the river Yamuna at Prayagraj. Okay, and that earlier called the Allahabad. So have you listened the name of that river, that Hooghly in West Bengal? It is the distributary of Ganga. Means it is divided in that river. Distributary means. Next is Brahmaputra. Okay. Brahmaputra enters in India in which state? Arunachal Pradesh. You have to remember the name also, and flow to the Assam. So next rivers are peninsular rivers. What I have called you? Peninsular rivers. That rivers are originated in which I have told you that Vindhya and the Satpura mountain ranges and the Chota Nagpur plateau in central India or the Sahyadri hills in western Ghats. Okay, it's the western India. So which rivers are peninsular? Let us see about. First one is Godavari. So in which state the Godavari flows? We have listened the name in Maharashtra also. So it flows in Maharashtra, then Karnataka, Odisha, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. You have to remember which state that river flows. Okay, then its tributaries and distributaries. So some distributaries of Godavari are Pranhita and the Indravati. So next is Mahanadi. Mahanadi it flows through the states of Chhattisgarh and Odisha. And its tributaries of Mahanadi is Shivnath. Okay, then Krishna. What you have to remember about that river? Which state it flows and that is its tributaries or distributaries. Okay, Let us see about the Krishna. So where it flows? Krishna Nadi, it flows in Maharashtra, then Karnataka, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. And its tributaries is the Tungabhadra. It is the largest tributary. The next is Narmada and Tapi. So where it flows? Narmada and Tapi, it flows to the state Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra and Gujarat. And it flows from east to west. Okay, it's all about the rivers, Himalayan and Peninsular rivers. Okay, let us see the sources of Indian rivers. I have given you name. Let us see about that. So as we know that Karakoram and the Himalayan rivers are the largest and it is the very high. So they have the snow in their peaks. Peaks means top of that mountain. So there is full of the snow. In summer season, what will be happen? That snow will be melts, and in which they are what the snow is converted into water, and it flows in smaller streams and that smaller streams flows in rivers. So when that snow is melting and it flows in the rivers, it will be called snow-fed rivers. And sometimes that glacier, I have already saw you image of that glacier, that full of ice. When that glacier is melting and it flows in the river, it is called the glacier-fed rivers. Okay, snow-fed and glacier-fed. So that snow-fed and glacier-fed, it is started in the summer season and it flows in throughout the whole year. So it will be called perennial rivers. I have already told about that perennial and non-perennial. Perennial means that rivers flow throughout the year, and non-perennial means that rivers, that is the seasonal river. Okay, and which is the seasonal river? In these three, rain-fed rivers. Let us learn about that rain-fed rivers. Some rivers, they receive the water from the rain. So it will be in monsoon season only, rainy season only. Okay, so it will be called the non-perennial rivers. Okay, all of you understood that sources of Indian rivers, snow-fed and glacier-fed rivers are perennial rivers and rain-fed rivers are non-perennial rivers. So it is very simple. Now next see the features of Indian rivers. In the high areas, a river flows fast because in the high, why it flows the fast? It can be slowly to the downwards fast. Next feature is a river leaves small rocks and stones as well as soil at the bottom of valleys because it flows the fast, and that water flows down and that small rocks, stones, soil are settled down as it is in the bottom of valleys. Next feature is rivers also form large basins. Now what is meant by basins? So basins means it is large area. In our home also, in our house also, we are using basins for washing our mouth, for brushing. Okay, so basins is large area which has water also and some slit. Slit I have already told you, that is, slit is the soil leaves the river, okay, when it flow from the mountains. So it deposits slit in the middle and low areas, and it is very fertile for cultivation. It is very useful. So next thing, let us see important uses. Already we have seen in previous lesson uses of Indian rivers. It is used for agriculture, generating electricity, recreation, fishing. There is, I have written the religion, it's wrong, it is the recreation. Let us see first about agriculture. So that river, water of that river is very useful for the agriculture. It is very useful for generating electricity. I have told you about the name also. One dam in near the Ahmednagar, there is Mula Dam. Okay. So river, water of river is useful for recreational activities like swimming. Okay. Then fishing, for fishing also it is very useful. So in this lesson we have studied, there are on the basis of originate of river, there are two types, Himalayan and peninsular, and on the basis of water flow throughout the year or seasonal, there are two types, perennial rivers and non-perennial. And after that we have studied about the some rivers where it flows and its tributaries or distributaries. And after that we have studied which point? Sources of Indian rivers. Snow-fed rivers, rain-fed rivers, glacier-fed rivers. After that, features of Indian rivers and the uses of rivers in the agriculture. The river water is diverted through the canal, and it is that where there is no water, and that water is useful for farming, for cultivation of various types of crops. Okay. So here we have finished the lesson 4, that is rivers. Today only I will give you notes because 2 days you are having holiday, you can complete it. You have time, that's why I am giving you today only the notes. Please write it. Thank you.